Urban Therapy with Sun 752, and this your daily go-getterism number 531 for March 17, 2016. Tonight I want to talk to y'all about cussing people out and getting cussed out. I don't know. I think that probably, regardless of your age, because even little kids get cussed out. Regardless of your age, somewhere along in your life, you've been cussed out. Only thing that separates one person who got cussed out from another person who got cussed out is how you deal with being cussed out. And what is being cussed out? First of all, cussed out is when somebody is very angry with you and you're in an argument with them. And the argument is pretty much one-sided because one side is dead wrong normally. Not all the time, but normally one side is dead wrong and the other side is the one that's chastising. So, it could be a result of a bunch of frustration that has built up over time, and somebody is confronting you about something, and maybe you didn't react the way that they wanted you to react or whatever. You didn't respond the way you were supposed to respond. You didn't humble yourself, and next thing you know, there's a bunch of yelling and screaming and cussing and cursing. When we say cuss out, cuss is like a slang for cursing, which is like swearing words. So, but the funny thing about it is you can get cussed out without somebody using curse words and without somebody raising their voice. It's kind of crazy, but it happens. Now, like I was saying, is that what separates one person from getting cussed out to another person, what separates two people who have both been cussed out from each other is the severity of the person that was cussing you out and how you're able to handle it. See, if you grow up with a parent, normally a mom, especially a black mom. I know white mom. We ain't talking about that right now. If you grew up in a black household with a mom, whether she was a single mom or whether it was a two-parent family, it doesn't matter. But if you grew up with a very emotional parent that normally raised their voice to different octaves and stuff like that, and wasn't afraid to express herself, you're probably going to get used to being cussed out a little bit. It's not always because you're in trouble. It's not always a bad thing, and it's not always to make you feel bad. But it might just be that she's quick to get on you about any of your shortcomings, or whenever you don't do something that you were supposed to do, whenever you don't take care of your responsibilities. And that's if she's cussing you out with love. Now, there is an abusive cussing out where parents are telling their kids that they ain't shit, they ain't never gonna be shit, they ain't come from nothing, they ain't never gonna be nothing, they ain't worthless and all of that. That's a different kind of cussing out, and that's not a good cussing out. And unfortunately, that happens a lot in people's households, and the people who are doing it don't even realize the severity of what they're doing to somebody. Terrible thing. And that crosses all racial boundaries, all ethnic boundaries. Doesn't matter. Because I know Latinos, they get their cuss out on too. As a matter of fact, the only race that I don't know does get they cuss out on is probably Asian. They do too. Yeah, they do too. We just don't know what they're saying. And it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. And like I was saying before, you can get cussed out without ever using the curse word, and you can get cussed out without anybody ever raising their voice, I should say. It happens. I mean, it's sort of something like this. Like, well, listen, the thing that you did was really deplorable, and I really wasn't feeling that. And the thing is, you knew exactly what you were doing. It's a terrible thing when instead of being a decent person the way you were raised to be, you just resort to cheating and lying and stealing and acting like you pretty much are a hooligan and don't have no sense. You run around this city all wild like a park ape and doing all kinds of things to people that are going to come back to you one day, because God is real and he takes care of babies and fools, and you are definitely not a baby, but a fool you just might be, because you haven't done anything that was worthwhile since you got out of high school. You running around here, you won't get a job, you hanging around on these corners, you selling drugs. You got a child now yourself and you ain't trying to raise them or do anything good with your life, and you know that that's not the way you was brought up to do. So it seems to me that regardless of the good things that people have done for you, you have decided that nothing good can come out of anybody doing anything good for you. So unfortunately, until you get it together, I guess that we're just going to have to label you a lost cause, because that's exactly what you are. So listen, I would appreciate it if you wouldn't come around here no more, because I don't have no time for people like you. You sort of like the scum of the earth, and you really ain't no good. And I'm trying to do things to improve my life, and having people like you around, it's like having a dirty windshield that no matter how much Windex you spray on it, it just can't seem to come clean. That's what you're sort of like. So I would appreciate an opportunity to be able to look out my windshield so I can see what's in front of me. And hopefully what's in front of me is you one day while I'm doing about 50 miles an hour and unable to stop. You run along. See, you can get cussed out like that. It ain't no curse words, no raised voice, no nothing. Some people make cussing people out of art. It's crazy. It really is crazy, but it's one of those things, man. And we get caught up, in our emotions and our frustrations. But, if you do something wrong to somebody, or you dead wrong, you can expect to get cussed out. This is another way you can get cussed out, though. Before I go, text messages, the new tech way of cussing somebody out. So you can get a text message that has so much venom in the lyrics of the text message. In the words, the paragraphs of a text message. And the text message might be beautiful, because if you get with a real writer, they have all the correct punctuation. They indented the text message and all of that. Like, you're thinking, like, this is really a good piece of work. Except for, it's so hurtful. Big bold letters, all capital letters, a lot of exclamation points, it's grammatically correct, but they just killing you. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind, and anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, nobody likes to get cussed out, and really, as far as your level of stress and frustration is concerned, you don't want to have to cuss nobody out either. But things happen, life happens in real time, and there's nothing we can do about it. We just have to roll with the punches, because it is what it is. And I'll tell you what something else is. If you want to keep from having to cuss people out and keep from having to get cussed out, get your life together. Some good diet and exercise. That's where the Mind Right and Body Better Fitness program comes in. So holla at that. Every Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the McVeigh Recreation Center. Right there on the corner of Ontario Street and D Street. 400 East Ontario Street. Y'all get with that. And you can probably eliminate getting cussed out of your life. You no good mother. I'll let y'all later.